All right. We'll kick off tonight's council meeting. This is a special meeting, meeting 12-25. It's Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. And Councillor Pilch coming in. It's a photo finish. So this is a special meeting. I really don't anticipate it lasting more than hopefully 10 to 15 minutes. But we will still stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
All right, and then we will see who is here tonight. Councillor Egan.
Here.
Councillor Lawrence. Here. Councillor Pilch.
Here.
Councillor Brown.
Present.
Councillor Smith.
Present.
Councillor Benoit is here and present. Councillor Pillsbury is watching his son in the Little League Championships tonight, so good luck. So we have one item. This is item 73-25. This is following our conversation at our last council meeting discussing setting a public hearing for repealing or retaining the stretch code. Sophie, do you want to add a couple of comments?
So I figure we tried it both ways separately. Now we're going to put it together like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So the idea is to give people both of the options, have one public hearing. We're still kind of working through how to propose the be it ordains for you. But the idea here would be to consider language that updates the references to the 2021 code as we have to, but also repeals the optional stretch energy code. The other option would be to update the references from 2015 to 2021 as we have to because of the change in the state law, and maintain that optional stretch energy code.
Any questions?
And so what I'm hearing is there might be two different be it ordained. One is the updating of the necessary piece, regardless up or down, and then a separate vote about stretch code.
So we're working through with Amy whether there's a way that we can write it so it's an either or if it is you vote one up and one down, which then we'd be relying on you to vote, to maintain your votes so that one goes up and one goes down, because it would be bad if both of them were adopted.
Let's just make this really fun.
They would make each other negative, so. Or the balances one.
Oh,
I thought what Councillor Smith was suggesting was not the same language, two different ways, but adopting the one with basically the dates, and then a separate vote on the other sentence that says, are we adopting the stretch piece of that or not? And even if we don't adopt the stretch piece, we still have updated the dates. Is that accurate, Mary?
But that is what I asked, but I think what Sophie's saying is that because they are intertwined, it may be one.
Okay, I didn't think that worked.
So, you know what? No, we can pull the ordinance apart, and the dates are in one section. That would be clearer for you? Do you think that would be clearer for the community to see it that way? To change the dates and then take action on whether to strike the stretch code?
Yeah. I agree with that.
That's how it's been in my head, and then it's been changed several times.
Okay.
Because this, and I believe essentially one of those actions, we don't really have a lot of choice, and the second one we do.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if we don't have, here's a question, if we don't have a choice, why do we need to vote on it?
So, because the only way that ordinance language gets changed is for council to approve it. That's not, staff
get it.
can't do that.
Understand that, but if we don't have a choice,
It's like
But then-
similar to how we have to vote for like the election that's happening today. It just kind of feels like it's administrative.
So,
Well,
the-
it is, but if we say, no, we don't want to do it, what happens?
so if you say, no, we don't want to change the references for the 2015 codes to updated to the 2021 codes, then people go to our ordinance and they say, oh, I have to follow the 2015 code. And they follow the 2015 code and they come in to try to pull a permit, and our code officer says, I'm sorry, but we're preempted by state law, so you really have to follow the 2021 code.
Okay, so again, I understand the difference there, and I guess I understand why we have to vote, but it seems like that would,
Part of it is by law, we have to have the year in
yeah, I get,
ordinance, even though regardless of what year we say, the state law preempts.
Are you asking like why we have to vote on it versus it just happening?
yes, because if we don't, I mean, and I understand that we have to vote to change the language of the ordinance, but in this case, it doesn't make sense to me, because we have to put the date in there and we have to update it, and if we vote no, then we just cause a big mess.
So, yes, if
Since
you,
it's a yeah.
if you vote no, it causes, I think, confusion to the public. I think there is the slippery slope that everybody is worried about, that if staff can go in and change this administrative thing, and then they go in and change this administrative thing, but maybe it's not really an administrative thing, that is why council is required to make any changes other than, well, any change to ordinance.
It feels like
Look at the red
it's a
lines.
checks and balance essentially
it.
to make sure we have our eyes on it
I get
every
it, so
so often. Yeah.
the point is, just for the sake of unconfusing everybody, if we don't vote yes, then this ordinance is really not worth anything.
So,
And if I vote no, I mean, if we vote no, it's not,
so I like the suggestion, which quite frankly is probably in line with what our fearless code officer suggested at the very, very beginning, and everybody said that would be too confusing. But I see your point, and I think to change the language that has to be changed regardless, and then put a provision in with the strikeout. So that's the piece that everything has to be presented as strikes, underlines, per the charter. So I think we can do that.
Sounds good to me.
yeah, I think that's what we should do. And I still want to talk about this, but we don't have to talk about it here, just because if it's a state, it's not administrative. I mean, it is, I guess, essentially administrative, but we have to follow state law, so that makes this not a town, not one of our employees going in and changing this administratively because we need to have a different word. It's the state telling us we have to change this, so, anyway, we don't need to talk about it anymore today, but.
Would you like to read the be ordered?
Sure. It's not that page. Be it ordered that a public hearing be set for June 24th, 2025 in the Town Hall Council Chambers, 30 Main Street, Freeport, starting at 6 p.m. to allow the public to provide comment regarding proposed amendments to Chapter 11, Building Code Ordinance, to update code references to the recently adopted state codes, and consideration of repealing or retaining the optional stretch energy code.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. All right, that brings us to the end of our agenda.
Okay, so I propose that we adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.